coming this way. Wait a minute, hey, I'm ghosted!
By Roz Hernandez. Where were you?
I was in Arlington, Texas.
Why? What were you doing?
Giving a talk about what else but diversity and inclusion in the entertainment industry. And I will say, have you done colleges yet?
Not really.
You'll get there soon. And every comic will tell you this, they are the worst gigs. This was fine because it was just a Q&A and me talking, which was lovely. And like everyone was great. But like when I was early in my career touring, I would do these college gigs because they pay 3 to 4 times as much as a club will for one night. But they are some of the most awful like scenarios you could ever imagine. I won't name the school. They have a Chili's on campus though, so that might give it away.
Wait, are we doing the podcast? I'm asking you, Joel.
Oh yeah,
the podcast.
Yeah, I thought we started.
I thought y'all were in the pre-interview mode.
No,
let's do it.
Okay,
we can keep talking.
Okay,
keep going.
No, and then I had to perform an hour of stand-up during the 2015 Bernie-Hillary debate, and they would not turn off the TVs for the debate. So half the Chili's was watching the debate. Maybe 12 people were watching me, and it was one of the hardest hours because I also wanted to see the debate. So I was like, fuck my drag. Like, I don't care about any of this. So colleges are not always ideal, but they do pay very well. And I will say, they are also how I found out that I had a rider that my manager had created for me without consulting me.
What's in it?
So one day I did a college and they didn't have a green room. They had like they just put me in a classroom and there was like 2 mirrors, like mismatched mirrors that were like full length mirrors in the room. And I was one on one side and the other on the other side of the room. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And then after the show, I was like chatting with them and they were like, sorry, we have to like carry these mirrors across campus back to the prop department or whatever. And I was like, why did you bring those in here? And they were like, oh, your rider says that you need a mirror that you can see your front and your back. And I was like, and I like texted my manager. I was like, you are making me look like a lunatic. I was like, I have never once expressed to you the need to see my back as well as my front.
They just assumed.
He just assumed.
I'm doing my first ever bus tour.
Oh.
I leave at 3 p.m.
Today? Oh we have like opposite lives today. I landed at 7:30. You're leaving at 3. I love that for us.
I'm gonna go open for Bob for like.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, but I've never done like a bus. Have you?
I have never done a bus. No, I've never done a bus.
That's what I'm so curious about.
I think it sounds fun to me.
I think
personally.
so too.
And with Bob, I think it'll be fun, and that crew, it'll be fun.
I think it'll be like
and
a slumber
also,
party.
Bob like cultivates such a smart audience that you'll have the fucking time of your life. You really will. Like, the thing is about Bob's audiences is that they are not drag comedy audiences. They are like comedy audiences. Like, my problem is a lot of times when I'm performing in LA, especially at the clubs, like, and at certain other places, like, when you perform for people who don't know what the obvious punchline is, like as comics, we're always trying to stay ahead of whatever the obvious punchline is, you know? But if you're performing for an audience that doesn't even know the obvious punchline and then you jump ahead to what the subversion is, they're so lost. And it's like not...
They're like, wait, you're supposed to say the thing that we thought you were supposed to say.
I thought Asians had small dicks, you know? Like, it's just like, you know, like, it is so frustrating and it's not helpful at a certain point to perform for dumb audiences who don't know comedy.
Right.
But I don't think you'll have that problem with Bob.
Right.
Because I think Bob is a classic example of someone who I do think there was a universe, I think of a period of time in drag especially, where like Bob probably could have just been a stand-up. I think, though, that it was at a time when like stand-up did not feel super welcoming to Bob. And he also has all these other amazing skills that go into drag and et cetera, et cetera. But I do think there are a lot of drag queens that are so funny that would have just gone the regular route of stand-up had stand-up not been so aggressively like homophobic.
Well, do you remember me doing it? I used to do clubs as a drag queen.
Oh, I remember the
On lineups
improv lounge.
with nobody that was a drag queen.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
And it was.
But you know what though? Do you not feel like you learned a lot from those experiences?
So much.
And like when I first started touring, like after Conan in 2016, I started headlining clubs for the first time. And back then, nobody cared if I lived or died. I would go out on stage. No one had heard of me. Maybe a few people from Twitter had come to see the show, but nobody. And it really does teach you how to do your gay shit in a way that like is going to pop with a broader audience. And like it really trains you to like get the audience on your side very quickly in a way that like I think if you stay doing I understand the safety of wanting to only do queer rooms, but like or alt rooms for that matter, but like I became a much better comic. And it was much scarier at times.
Totally.
But I became a much better comic traveling the country and doing like zanies in Nashville.
But I also like now that people come to see me, I have spent over a decade being the only like not famous person or being like the one that's like the freak in the lineup that I am always assuming that nobody knows who I am and I have to explain everything.
Yes.
And then now people come to see me and I'm like, wait, you already knew what I was talking about. Or like, you know what I mean.
But it's like, you will run into this too, because I have to do this now too, where it's like, everybody knows I'm adopted. Everybody knows my parents are white. You know, like I feel in my head, like I spent the first like 10 years of my career talking about the dysphoria of having a white family and being a person of color. But the fact is, it's like I still can't go out there and do jokes with that context underlying things. You have to constantly find a new quick way to like get everybody on the same page without reusing the same joke. And it becomes more and more difficult every year because I'm like, can you just all know who I am at this point? Like, please, like, so I don't have to explain myself and why I have this goofy ass fucking name. Like, it's a trial. It's a tribulation.
You're telling me. I don't know why I'm not the most famous person in the world.
I don't know either.
So, Joel, we all know your parents are Asian. You're straight. Tell me about ghosts.
Ghosts. Okay.
Because here's the thing. I feel like at some point pre-pandemic, I was like, hey, you want to come on my podcast? It's about ghosts. And you were like, I don't know about ghosts or something. I don't know what you said. I think you said, get out of my face.
I think at the time.
I think you said, I need a mirror that sees the front and the back of me and leave this dressing room immediately.
If this was pre-pandemic, then at the time I probably did not have a ghost experience to share. And I was probably feeling like, what would I go on and talk on this podcast about? I will say the only thing I will say that I had probably to talk about that was ghost related was I did do a podcast with a ghost debunker once, but I will say his debunking of it wasn't that like the experiences that people have with ghosts aren't real. What happens is that if something incredibly violent or emotional or highly charged happens in a space, it will leave an imprint of energy in that space, and it's more of an echo. Like ghosts in his mind, they are not like conscious beings that are like left over wandering the earth, like trying to solve their like unfinished business. It's just they are the echo of the energy that was left behind because they were murdered brutally there, or because they had a huge connection to that space, or because, you know, something along those lines, or because they were highly connected to the people in that space, you know? And so I actually found that quite convincing.
I believe in that, but I also feel like it could be like you're an invisible dead person that like has full thought. Like I think there could be more than one.
Yeah, no. True.
There seems to be some ghosts that like have no clue they're a ghost. And that's what they call a residual haunting.
Yes.
And they're just sort of like just going about their day. They probably in their mind it's like Nicole Kidman, the others, like they don't like you're the ghost, like
right.
But then it seems like there's the ones that have the ability to like call me slurs or whatever, which I have also experienced. And I think that that's more of an intelligent being. That knows
with
what
a
it's doing.
with a consciousness for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly where I fall. I mean, you have to, like, to set things up too, you have to understand I come from a very deeply religious background.
What kind?
Evangelical, Southern Baptist.
That sounds scary.
Yeah. So the only kind of ghost we were believing in was the Holy Ghost, baby. You better believe that there were no such things as ghosts going on in our house. Demons, they were real.
Tell me about demons.
Demons were fully real. I mean, like, I remember when I was 13, I struggled a lot growing up, in part because I was deeply repressed as a gay person in a very religious household where I was homeschooled, et cetera, kept under lock and key. Also, like, bipolar, probably undiagnosed, like, probably all the way back then, experiencing emotional tumult that I could not process and that my parents refused to deal with. Like, they sent me to Christian therapists that were like, pray and like be better, and that was the extent of it. And so, like, I remember at 13 I got in a fight with my dad so bad, and I was like throwing a tantrum so bad that he tried to exorcise me in the middle of the fight. This is full disclosure, I believe in my first Comedy Central special, this a bit about it, but it's a real story. And it's funny in the bit because I remember being like, I started laughing in his face when he started doing it. And the joke is that, like, well, that seems like something a demon might do in that situation. Like, if I was trying to, like, beat the rumors, like, likely thing for a demon to do is laugh during the exorcism.
Totally. This is what I think about 24/7 about, like, as I go to these haunted places, and then every once in a while people be like, be careful, there's demons, like, you're gonna whatever. And I'm like, these are the same people sometimes, or at least there are a lot of people out there that think trans people, gay people, drag queens, whatever, are demons.
Possessed.
Or whatever. And I'm like, if I encountered a demon, it would probably be like
top bottom verse, babe.
Game recognizes game. Like, they're gonna be like, yeah, we're be feeling each other out.
Yeah.
Like, so what are you into?
Exactly.
Like, what kind of demon are you?
Exactly. But no, but at the time, like, as much as I joked about it, like, it was really upsetting. It's a really upsetting thing to have your father think that your behavior is so outrageous that you are possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
And so, like, demons were very present. Like, talk about demons was very present in my childhood, and like, I am still to this day, I would say, like, I love horror movies. The ones that still to this day make me a little ooky gooky are the ones that are like The Omen, The Exorcist, like the ones that involve, like, basically anything involving a Catholic church. Get me the fuck out of there, like, because there is a little part of me that has not unlearned the trauma that I grew up with, and I'm like, demons are real, and they could inhabit my body at any time.
Do you think if there was a demon at the foot of your bed that you would turn to the Lord Jesus Christ?
I would probably do the opposite. I'd be like, let's team up, bitch, duet.
Girl, imagine, like, the two of us.
Let's collab. Like,
yes.
Get it on, like, get in here, girl.
Have your people call my people, and we'll do a project.
Yeah, because I think I've burned too many bridges with JC. I don't know that he would be there to help me as much as he, proclaims to be, like, always forgiving. I don't know about that with me.
I do think Jesus would be like, oh, now you want me?
Yeah. But no, like, no real, like, ghost experiences. We loved The Most Haunted Places on Earth. We loved
the TV show.
Yeah. We with the woman from
Poltergeist.
Yes.
Scariest Places on Earth.
Oh my God! Got my life to that
That's
show.
Zelda Rubinstein.
Yes,
who's
Zelda
an
Rubinstein.
icon.
Thank you.
She was also, like, really one of the first people that was, like, an AIDS activist.
Oh, really?
Back in the 80s. Yeah.
I love to hear that about her.
She's iconic. I love Zelda Rubinstein. She's kind of like my dream.
Say her name. Yeah, Zelda Rubinstein. Remember it. Look her up. But yeah, so ghosts weren't like super present. And then I went to a very haunted school. College.
Which
yeah.
one?
Millikan University, downstate Illinois. Kind of a scam, kind of not. I say that now. I think every small liberal arts school is a scam. Private liberal arts schools are scams.
I can see
At
that.
this point, in the way the education system works in our country, I do not believe that. It's so hard to look at a high school student in the eyes and be like, and have them be like, how do I do what you do? And not be like, don't go to college. Don't take out student loans. I will say this is the caveat. If your parents are wealthy and you won't have any financial struggles going to college, then baby, go to college. Go to whatever college you want to go to because it's fun. You learn a lot about like life and living and like partying and your limits and relationships and like you are paying to read. That is what so many people like. That is what I actually like really regret about my time in college, because we shouldn't be sending 18-year-olds to college anyways. Like, we shouldn't be sending 18-year-olds to study the thing that they should supposedly want to study for the rest of their life.
Yeah, you're just supposed to know what you want to do until
exactly.
you retire.
It's the one of the most ridiculous things about Western society. But I will say, like, I regret, like, I was paying to sit and fucking read books. And I didn't take advantage of it in the way that I should have, you know? Like, I was too busy fucking, you know, fucking like and fucking around, and like I regret that. And I think if I were an adult going to school, I would much rather be like, hey, I have this time and I have this, you know, I'm spending this money. I would much rather do that. But
well, I went to college and I was like, I want to be a radio person, and then I get to start like studying broadcasting, and they're like, well, there's this new thing called podcasts, and I was like, that'll never last. And I was like, what about radio? And they're like, well, radio is just like, you know, it's not what it used to be. And I'm like, damn it. Then I'm like, okay, well then what can I do where I can like make people laugh and dress like a lady? And then it's like, go to theater. And then I go to theater and I'm like, but how do I like make money doing this? And then I just dropped out.
Yeah, it is like a fun choose your own adventure. You're just like turning page. Like, I choose option A, turn to page 32. Okay, drag queen. Okay, choose option 3, turn to page 36. I'm trans.
Yes, I know. And it's like, unfortunately, there is not Hamburger Mary's University.
No.
So
But here you are podcasting, bitch.
You know what? I didn't need.
Do you remember the first podcast you downloaded or ever listened to?
It's probably like WTF.
Okay. The first 3 podcasts I downloaded were Comic Book Queers, shout out, the Slate Culture Gab Fest, which I still dip in and dip in out of, and How Did This Get Made? How Did This Get Made was like an early. I remember sitting in my Chicago apartment on my futon, which was the only piece of furniture I owned at the time. Did not have but $8 in my bank account. Could not afford the Chinese food that I wanted to order. Had no food in the house. Had my laptop though, and I was like bored as fuck. And I was like, I guess I'm just gonna listen to this. And I just remember it being like this source of like relief and like comfort, and like I was like entertained, and I was like, oh, thank God, and it's free.
I know.
And now look
Keep
at
that
it.
in mind,
now look
people.
At it.
It's
now
free.
Fucking look at it.
Next time you leave your shitty review, it's free.
Right. I've gotten 2 bad reviews on my podcast since I took over hosting Bad Dates, which was Jamila Jamil's. We have to get you on, by the way.
I was supposed to be on when Arden was the host, and then I had to cancel.
We have to get you back on. I cannot wait. But 2 people have left negative reviews that are like, Joel really dropped the ball. I hate this new host. He sucks. But they still have 5 stars. And I was like, you know what?
That's nice.
I was like, say what you want.
Do whatever you want.
Just leave 5 stars,
5
bitch.
stars.
Like, that is totally fine by me.
I
will take the note as long as you give me 5 stars.
Okay, so you have since had a ghost experience.
I have since had a ghost experience.
Wait, I should set this up. So I'm sitting, here I am backstage at the Tribeca Film Festival. And I'm sitting there with, who was it? Tig Notaro, Sandra Bernhard.
You name dropping bitch.
Margaret Cho. I think my friend Margaret was like, oh my God, you guys, you have to listen to Roz's podcast. It's called Ghosted. I've been on it. And I'm like, Margaret, stop. You're embarrassing me. And then Joel was like, I live in a haunted house.
I'm not looking at my phone. I'm trying to pull up the
Your rider.
No, what will become very important later on in this story, which is the receipt that the ghostbuster sent me about my house.
Okay, why are you cheating on me with a ghostbuster?
So basically what happened is this. I purchased a house.
Congrats.
I am wealthy now. And very lucky. It's like the East Hollywood Hills, right around Universal. I'm actually giving too many details about where I live right now. But it's a lovely house. I'm very grateful that I was able to afford it. And as I was getting the key handoff from the previous owner, Miriam, lovely woman. She has a stack of pictures, okay? And she's like, this is a fun tradition that everyone who's ever lived in the house has done, which is like sort of take pictures of themselves in the house from the very beginning, from the jump.
Did you see the pictures?
Yes, so
Was there like 1,000 of them because
there
people
was like
only
a
stay
huge
for 2
stack.
weeks because the ghost is so scary and they just come and go?
There were a ton of pictures because the house was built in the 40s. And it was built by a man named Ralph, I'll call him. And
Did he own Ralph's?
Yes, he was one of the Ralphs, because Ralph's is not Ralph's Ralph apostrophe S. It is Ralph's. So multiple Ralphs.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just one of many Ralphs.
I never
in the
noticed
conglomerate of Ralphs. And so she started off with that picture, black and white photo of Ralph next to the house that he had just built. Ralph built this house. He loved this house. It was his dream. And she's going through, showing me all the other people who live in the house, the various ways the house has looked over the years. And then she gets to a point in the photos in the 70s, and she's like, oh, weird, that's funny. That looks like Ralph, but he didn't live there then. Huh. And then she just continues flipping the photos, and I was like, wait. It's like, let's back up here.
Yeah.
I was like, you think that's Ralph? And she's like, yeah, it looks just like, and we compare the photos. It looked same clothes. I'll show you the photo next time you come over.
It's a owner. It wasn't like a ghost picture.
It was mysterious because she didn't know why he would be there 30 years later, looking roughly the same in the back of the yard of this photo.
Okay.
And she literally said to me, she was like, that's weird. Ralph shouldn't be there. Flip. And I was like, bitch, this is the scene in the horror movie when you realize this is midway through the horror movie where they go to the house and they're like, oh my God, he's been dead the whole time, this person that I've been communicating with. And then she gets to the end of the photos and she's like, be sure to take some photos of yourself in the house to add to the stack and then give the stack to the next people. And I didn't think much of it. I just thought it was Ralph didn't appear in any of the other photos. So I was like, this must be just some weird coincidence, some guy who looks just like him, in the background of the photos, whatever. We'll I'm not going to worry about it. I have a house. Dream come true. Never in a million years thought this would happen for me.
What does Ralph look like, or what did he look like?
He, I think, is German. He's it weirdly looks like my dad, because famously again adopted.
Oh, okay.
But just a tall,
Didn't know
sturdy.
That. Someone could have told me ahead of time. Nobody filled me in on that fact.
Just a tall Germanic, sturdy looking guy.
Hot
50s 60s maybe by the time he finished the house. I don't know.
Fatty.
So that was what made it extra strange that he would be in a photo that she believed took place in the 70s when he built the house in the 40s at an already old age.
I also forget that people that aren't famous live in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
There's also doctors and
totally
lawyers.
Normal people, and in fact, let me tell you, they're all fucking nightmares, and I hate every single fucking one of them. I have been
I have been websites or whatever?
Banned from Nextdoor. I've been banned from Nextdoor for being aggressive and for calling people out for caring about shit caring about the wrong shit and specifically about the way they talk about unhoused people, which is not a problem in my neighborhood whatsoever.
But they still have something to say.
But no, I'm banned from Nextdoor, from my neighborhood on Nextdoor. I guess if I moved, I might be allowed in a new neighborhood on Nextdoor, but I'm not exactly sure. But I feel very righteously like okay with being banned from Nextdoor for what I did, because I was like, it was just like I could not deal with the entitlement and like it's just not the world that I come from. And like, I'm very lucky to be a homeowner. If I was not on one failed NBC sitcom that lasted one season, I would not be a homeowner today. Like, I mean, God bless Loot and Fire Island too, but like, I am not the kind of person with the kind of background that should own a home right now. And boy, did I bring that energy to the next door. But yeah, no, it was crazy.
The people that are previous owners, were any of them famous?
There was the last guy who remodeled the house in the 90s. The house hasn't been remodeled since the 90s. Was an NBA player. I don't know his name, but he was an NBA player. But because of that, all the counters are just like like slightly, I would say 4 inches too tall for me. And my boyfriend my fiance rather, is 6'2".
That's right. Congrats.
And he loves it. He loves it, but you should see me try to take my contacts out at our bathroom sink, which is also too high. It's like I need like a little step stool to like get close. It's so embarrassing.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I think he might be the closest, because I did ask Miriam. I was like, "Do you know if anyone famous ever lived in this house?" And she was like, "I don't think so. I think I probably am the most famous person to live in this house."
That's great.
And like that's not saying a lot, because I don't know what this basketball player, I mean, clearly like he couldn't have been that good of a basketball player if he was living in this house. You know, like,
okay, we got to get to the ghost.
Okay, yeah, we have to get to the ghost.
Okay, so you're ready, you move in, weird situation with Miriam.
The
photo.
Things are going fine. I will say, things that are explainable start happening.
Okay.
It's one of those houses where like you enter on the second floor and then you go downstairs to the bedrooms.
Love it.
And constantly I would like have this picture hanging up on my fridge of me and my partner. Fully stable magnet. It's a picture. It's not heavy. We would like be downstairs in our bedroom and just hear a crash, and I'd come upstairs and the photo would be, and it was like a sturdy magnet. It was like one of those, those like graphite rock magnets, like the amethyst magnets that you get at the Natural History Museum. It was one of those, and that's why we could hear it. And it would crash. And then like things started happening where we would hear stuff upstairs, and I thought maybe like an animal had gotten into the house or something like that. It was very strange. I bought a baseball bat.
Good.
To have next to my bed, just in case. My boyfriend hates it. It gives him nightmares. But I wanted to have it because I just kept thinking like, what's going on? And I should say around this time too, my air conditioner is in the front of my house and is broken. It makes a lot of noise. I get a Grindr message from someone with no profile, 0 feet away, that just says, "Wow, your AC is really loud."
What?
Yeah. And then he blocks me. And the thing is
that is a horror film.
For those of you who don't know about Grindr or some of these apps, the geolocation is not that specific. Like he had to know I was in that house. And it's not that easy to discern on Grindr. Like, you can be 0 feet away from somebody, but that doesn't mean you know which house they're in.
Right. Like if you're in a big hotel and you check Grindr, there's like tons.
If you're connected to the same Wi-Fi network, oftentimes it'll be like you're 0 feet away from somebody, and like it doesn't give you that like specific instructions.
That's the movie Scream. But gay.
And that is why I have the baseball bat, because my partner is like terrified because listen, I've said some incendiary things online. I am not the most popular person online in certain circles. And,
Yeah, but also people are just obsessive.
I know.
You know there's people that think that they're married to you.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But like, it was just so weird and specific. Like, your air conditioning is real loud and
very
then blocked.
scary.
So onwards to the real meat of the story. So these little things are happening and we're like, whatever. This is normal stuff that's happening. The magnet's fucked up. Like, whatever. I'm in the basement, I'm doing laundry, and the laundry, the washer dryer is right in front of the door, okay? And I'm changing over the laundry from the washer to the dryer. And I turn around as I'm changing the laundry, and a man walks by the door. I am talking like, I thought there was a man in my house. He walked very fast by the door. I made a noise. My partner, he was like, I have never heard you make a noise even close to the noise that you just made.
What was it?
Like it was a genuine, like, yeah, it was a, he said it was kind of funny because like, he wasn't sure if it was real or not because it was like a very deep masculine scream. And like, you'd think with me that like my natural inclination and fear would be like,
yeah,
you know, but it was much more like, ah! And
okay, that was hot.
Yeah, I know. But he came running downstairs and I was like, did you see him? Did you see him? And he was like, what are you talking about? Because he walked towards our bathroom, which is a dead end. And I was like, John Michael, I swear to you, I am not making this up to scare you. There was a man in our house just now. Like, straight up, there was a man in our house. And I will never forget the image of this
what did he
for the
look
rest
like?
of my life. He was wearing exactly what Ralph was wearing in the picture. Like a flannel, like jeans and a flannel. Like, again, similar to my dad, like a work shirt and like jeans and boots. And like, I mean, it was quick. So like, I can't say for certain that it's exactly the same thing that Ralph was wearing in the photo, but it was close enough.
It's
like
something he would have worn.
It was something it was definitely something he would have worn. And I will say this, I did not get malevolence from this presence. It was just shocking to me.
Yeah.
I just felt like he was there, you know? And from that point forward, we were on the lookout.
In your opinion, do you think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with a ghost that doesn't realize they're a ghost? It's just like...
I don't think he realizes he's a ghost.
Okay.
I think that this was such a labor of love for him, that building this house. I think he was an immigrant. I think from what Miriam has told me, I think this was like a dream of his to build this house. And he finally, after many years, after much saving, was able to build his own house in Hollywood, in California. And that's huge.
If I did that, I would not leave.
Right, exactly.
I would say, I paid this money. I don't care if I'm living or dead. I'm going to be in this damn house.
So...
Now, here's one more thing I wanted to point out, though. Because of remodeling and stuff, I bet you said that was a dead end. It probably wasn't a dead end. In his mind, he's just going...
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, that's why I do what I do.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. So that happened. John Michael, a little like suspicious, sort of like, how much did you smoke? Like, what sativa were you? What was the strain, babe?
Right.
What was the strain? You know, like, and he doesn't necessarily believe me. And then a couple months later after that, I get home. I think John Michael's home. He goes in the office like twice a week. So like it's never regular. So I always just assume that he's home when I come home. And I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm going through my mail. And I feel, and I swear to God, this was not a muscle spasm. This was not a cramp. I feel someone come up behind me and grab me right here.
Where?
On the side. On my, where like a love handle
Where
would
a love
exist.
handle would
exist.
If it was, if I wasn't
there.
Joel Kim BoOooster.
Right. Grab me fully. And I thought it was John Michael sneaking up on me to surprise me. But I was completely alone. And I almost called him, like, I was like freaking out in like close to tears, honestly, because I was like, I don't know. And again, no malevolence, just like someone trying to be like, hey, I'm here.
But still, there's a way to do it.
I know, and I'm also like, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
My biggest problem with ghosts. They don't ask for consent.
Nope.
And the touching is my biggest.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Don't like that. Didn't appreciate that. And then this started happening, which is when we really got concerned. Because up until this point, John Michael had not really experienced any of these things. Like he had experienced like the things dropping up in the kitchen and like mysterious things, like things that shouldn't have falling, things like that. But again, he's a much more like logically minded, like, computer brain person. And so he was not on the ghost train at all. And then suddenly, like every once in a while, I would be downstairs in like my office or in the bedroom, and I would hear someone run across the living room. Okay?
I don't like when ghosts run.
Run across the living room. And I thought it was Shawn Michael, and I was like, I just assumed that. And then I like started noticing it would happen when he wasn't home or when he was like in the same room as me. And I was like, babe, did you hear that? And he was like, yeah. And that's when I'd like get the bat because I assumed someone was in our fucking house. And then I was gone. I don't know where I was. I was out. I was doing work somewhere. And John Michael was home alone, sitting in the living room. I don't know if he was watching TV or what happened, but he heard someone run across the room in the same way that we've heard someone run across the room several times, but he was in the room. He was in the room, and he could hear the person very clearly run in front of him across the room, the same path that we had been hearing for like weeks or months at this point. Yeah. And that's when he got really freaked out. That's when he finally became a believer because he was like,
feel a little good?
A little bit. Because I felt a little justified. And so it was time to do something. And what I decided to do was this, because I have a couple of friends who, as a joke gift several years ago, I think during probably lockdown, my friend got my other friend a certificate for this woman who's a ghostbuster, professional ghostbuster, to ghostbust his house.
She does certificates?
She does gift certificates.
I need to do that.
Yeah, you do. And she does it all remotely from Florida.
Wow.
Does not come to your house. Does not Zoom with you. Just talks to you. Doesn't ask for a picture of your house. Okay? She just knows. She just intuits. Okay?
This is great. I'm over here scheming.
And of course, like, this all started as a little bit of a joke. Like, oh, this woman, like.
But did a friend go to her? Where did she come from?
I don't know how she was discovered originally, but my friend was given the gift card for her, and he used her first. And like we joke because they're like when she did his house, and some of your listeners might know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to name names, but this has been told on his podcast and other podcasts. But like there was a ghost trial happening in his house that she was aware of. Like someone was being put on trial by other ghosts. There was a ghost jury.
Wait, who
like
was
that.
this? You don't want to say that, but they said it on their podcast?
It was Brian Safi.
Okay, I've talked to him about his ghost. I never heard about the ghost trial.
Yeah, well, talk to him about the ghost trial.
Okay, good to know.
And it was like joke. And then, of course, again, another friend of mine uses this same woman. Again, sort of as a joke, but this is the thing, like her son would not sleep in his room. 3 years old, would not sleep in his room, said, there's something in that room. I will not go near it. Please do not make me go in that room. And she whatever, she let him sleep wherever he wanted. And then suddenly, like, she mentions it to her nanny, who's Hispanic or Latino. And she was like, oh, yeah, the devil's room. I like put a glass of water in that room. Like, I don't go in that room. I don't go in that room. There's evil in that room. Yeah. And then a couple friends mentioned that, like, they had walked by that room and someone had tried to pull them into that room.
Oh, my God.
And so She used this woman.
Hang on a second. So the devil, the one that we've heard about all these years, is in a child's bedroom.
I don't know if it
in
was
Florida?
the devil. I don't know if it was the
was
devil.
a devil.
No. And this is not in Florida. This is in L.A.
Oh, now that makes sense.
She does it remotely from Florida, her work, ghostbusting.
Oh.
But it's all in L.A.
Got it. Somebody tried to pull them into the... That is so creepy.
Yeah. Uses the room, uses the lady, this 3-year-old. And I do believe that children are more in tune
Of course.
with this shit than we
Yeah.
are. Like, fully. I fully believe that. Child goes in the room and says, all right, it's good. But you need to tell her to get the vent, too. And...
Get the vent,
And
too.
luckily-
But what is she doing? Like, remotely?
She's doing a lot of things, okay? And I'll read you. I'm trying to find the receipt, the breakdown that
So she has like a menu of different... So
gave me.
vents are a certain
Yeah.
price.
And like, honestly, I don't know, I believe it. Okay, so I'm going to read you just the receipt that she gave me after she did my home.
Okay.
Remove the following possessions from each of you. Joel, 46. John Michael, 48. 2 more possessions than I had.
Oh, that's how many possessions.
Yeah, I don't know why he got 2 more possessions than I did.
Are you a little jealous?
I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, like what's wrong with me?
I know, exactly. What's wrong? Like, look at the material. Honestly, maybe race-based, but not gonna go there.
Don't. Yeah.
None were demonic type energies, more like ghost energies. So that's nice. That's nice to hear that we weren't.
So you had
none
48 people in
Yeah.
you. Now this would be my problem. I go, is one of them funny? Because if you take that out, I need that.
I know. Bring her back. Bring her back. And it is a her. The funny one was a her.
Of course.
Of course.
We know that. A lesbian.
Okay. Remove 28 discarnate energies from your house. Again, ghost type energies.
Okay.
I have fully cleared the property. And then here's the rest of the receipt. Okay. Other energies, including various portals, are covered below. All negative energies were removed or fixed in some way as no longer affect the property. 6 negative portals, cleared and closed if inside, cleared and left open if outside. 2 portals to the underworld, closed and sealed. 1 intergalactic hole, blocked. 25 ceiling portals, closed. 1 mirror portal in the primary bedroom, closed, which I do have a mirror, a big mirror in the primary bedroom, and we did have weird instances with it, so I'll say that
And she didn't see any of this.
I'll give her that. She doesn't even have a picture of my house.
Okay.
She doesn't even have a fucking picture. She might have looked it up on Zillow, but like that's it. The closet seems to have 2 very large mirrors on it. Mirrors both projecting out into a space and reflect back what's going on in a space. I often recommend to change out the closet mirror doors for something non-reflective and find another location for a mirror that helps you dress. Okay. 8 negative vortices with 1 matrix card cleared and turned positive. Dimensional energies removed. 1 plugged ley line cleared. 1 non-beneficial geopathic zone neutralized. 28 interference lines blocked. 3 energy walls removed. Dark blobs removed. 1 tall dark being removed.
But wait, she took your dark blobs too?
She took the blobs. She took the blobs. She took it all.
She took your blobs
I don't
and
know.
your intergalactic hole.
Yeah. But 1 tall dark being removed, which is notable. We each had targets on us from the underworld. I had 21 targets on me. Again, John Michael had 24 targets on him.
They love him.
I don't get it.
What do you mean you're engaged to this person?
I know, but like, why not me? Anyways,
I know.
and then we were tagged as well, and I had 36 tags removed. John Michael had 39 tags
What does that
removed.
mean? Tag.
Don't know. Couldn't tell you.
But it's not your
And I've
problem
asked
anymore.
for clarification. I've texted her and asked for clarification. I have yet to receive. I need to follow up, and I should have done that before I came in here to figure out what some of these
okay.
things mean.
So
now,
she does this, and
she
then
does
what?
this, and then you're allowed 1 more follow up.
Okay.
If in
Tune
case she
up.
misses something, a tune up, hence the like she needs to get the vent too.
Right.
Which I will say, my friend with that son, he sleeps in that room. It's all fine and gravy now. But here's the rub, okay? Here is the rub. We have not heard nor seen Ralph. The footsteps are gone. I have not seen a presence. I have not even felt a presence. I do feel lighter in my house. It's weird. I do feel more comfortable in my house alone at night. It's strange. But my boyfriend has had many reoccurring dreams of a man standing just outside in our backyard. So our primary bedroom has these like sliding glass doors that lead out to our backyard. And my boyfriend has had many dreams of a man that, as described to me, sounds like the same man that I saw walk the hallway.
Flannel.
Standing in the middle of our yard or standing right up against the door as though he's trying to get back in.
Yes, she probably was like, you gotta go outside, but you know, he's still a ghost.
Yeah, I mean, and now he's probably pissed at us because he's just got the fucking yard. And boy, oh boy, when we put a pool in, he's gonna be furious.
Now, okay, just because I have a lot of people that are very into this stuff that listen to this podcast, they're gonna be like, you got rid of this ghost and he wasn't doing anything wrong or whatever. My personal opinion, whoever's paying the bills is the one in charge of who's going to be in my house.
Well, and this woman told me, and I had the same concern too, because I explained to her, I said, listen, I'm not getting malevolence. It's not giving malevolence. Okay. Like, it's creepy. It's uncomfortable, but like, whatever. And she was like, I am simply setting him free. Like, I am like releasing him from this loop. I think she probably is more on the side of the debunker that I mentioned at the top, where it was like, he just has this deep connection to this house because he loved this house and he doesn't even know he's dead.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. This scenario seems like the residual haunting. It's just, he's running, he's walking where there used to not be a dead end.
He's grabbing at my love handles, you know? Like, she like assured me that she was simply setting him free from the cycle of this home. And so I hope that is the case, and I hope that my boyfriend's dreams are not indicative of this man trying to get back into the house.
Are you going to tell her you got to get the backyard?
I actually might follow up with her. It's been a minute. I might have missed my window, but I might pay for it again. Listen, and I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for this woman. I'm not going to tell you. It is one of those, yeah, I've made it moments because I could afford to do something almost as a bit. Like, because I could have had you do the work.
But it worked. See, now I can never promise anybody that I'm going to help anything.
Right.
I just want the content.
Right.
At the end of the day, I want to get a ghost
Well, and
on
why do you
camera.
think we did this too? Like, I wanted the receipt. I wanted to see the receipt and see
It's
how
a
many
great story
see
for a
how many,
podcast.
See how many blobs she removed, et cetera, et
Yes.
cetera. But like, she's helped my friend in an immeasurable way.
Yeah.
The son sleeps in the room now. You can't explain it. Like, the dog is not freaking out about the room anymore. It's very strange. It's very unusual.
Okay, here's my thing with this stuff. Like, we always want a professional to help us with a specific problem that we don't understand, whether it's like a health problem or a legal problem, whatever it is. But when you have a ghost, you're like, who do I turn to? And there's various ways you could go. You can go the priest route, you can go the blob removal, whatever it is. And since we don't know how all this works, I do think some of it is like it has some connection to our brain, it seems. I don't know what it is, whatever. But I really think, like, if it would make me feel better to pay someone to just be like, it's gone now, I would probably believe that.
Well, no, and this is how this is sort of a theory or a framework that I've stolen from my boyfriend, which I believe really truly, which is both astrology and, say, tarot, for instance. I don't think there's any intrinsic magic in either of those things. But if it gives you a framework to look at your life and it helps you in some way, then hell yeah, pull your tarot card every day, because it does, like, that's all it is. It's
Totally.
it's just giving you a framework to look at your life and process your life, and maybe don't make any like major decisions based on, you know, pulling the Six of Cups card that day. But it does, like, every time that I've had my tarot read, it just makes me think about a situation in my life in a much different way. And that alone is helpful. And
I
so,
think
like,
so.
you know, and I think it's similar in this way. I mean, I spent a lot more money than I needed to get that sort of relief, but like, it is psychological. And I do think that psychologically, I feel less scared in my home alone now.
Hell yeah.
So it works.
Crystals too are like another one where I'm like, first of all, they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
If you want to tell me that this, you know, I have this is going to keep a demon away, yes,
Please.
I'd rather have it than not.
Yeah, exactly. What's the worst that can happen?
Oh, I have a pretty rock.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? It's
Best
wonderful.
case scenario, it keeps the demon out. Worst case scenario, you have a beautiful rock and the demon would have got you anyways.
There you go. Now, it's interesting that you had a crystal magnet that
Amethyst. Yeah.
I theorize. Maybe he was looking for a throuple.
Yeah, because you know what? That's what I never got clear from Miriam was if Ralph was ever married or had a family. I don't think he did. And I don't think he was able to pass down the house to anyone. If I remember the story correctly.
Eligible bachelor type.
Yeah.
Coming
and
up
so
behind
the
you.
house was his family. And I kicked him out. Now I feel kind of guilty.
You didn't kick him out. You just made him go to the backyard.
Him. Yeah. Released him to the backyard. He's an outdoor cat now. Let the coyotes deal with him.
Oh, but you know, he might have wanted, you know, to join the relationship.
And you know, if I got a better look at him.
That's the thing. It's all marketing. It's
Yeah.
just like dating apps. You have to put your best foot forward or I'm going to swipe. I will swipe you out of here and put you in the backyard.
Yeah.
But when you were in this situation, were you like, I want this ghost gone? Or were you just like trying to figure it out? Like,
I mean, I think for us at first, it was much more about like, what is happening? And is this Ralph?
right.
Like, are we wrong? Because that was the other thing. Like, we were like, Ralph made the most sense, you know, based on the pictures and
the
based
thing.
on the build.
You don't know for sure that it was Ralph.
Exactly.
You don't know that.
Exactly.
And it could be these damn portals and blobs and whatever else she
ley
said.
lines and things like that.
My
friend,
holes.
she said that she got a unicorn and a dragon out of her house. A mother dragon was removed from her house.
Now, who was that ghost? Someone that was
The
on
same lady.
Game of Thrones, an old dragon that was out of work that died in that house.
Listen, dragons can be in houses, I know. I'm better safe than sorry.
Yes.
You know, especially now that he's appearing to my boyfriend in dreams, I'm sort of like, okay.
But I also want to say...
Emotional cheating.
Yeah, seriously.
Fuck him if you want him, but just like...
You can't
cut
dream
it
about
out,
him
yeah.
every night when I'm right next to you.
Right.
Chapel Roan, you know, people are freaky when you're in the public eye. And to have to always be on guard in your own home that you pay for, and you're hearing people running in your house, and you're seeing strange men in your basement, I don't blame you for wanting to end that. That's
the number of
stressful.
times I ran upstairs because I thought my boyfriend was home and like running across the living room floor and no one was there.
No, not when it's your home.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I am so glad I was not there to witness the running in the same room. That
is so
would have,
freaky.
I think that would have, I mean, I saw him, so like, I still think I win a little bit, but like,
Yeah, that's better.
I think like, if I was in that room and I heard someone that I could not see run across the room, it would have ruined me. We would have had to move.
Jaw.
Yeah.
I got 2 little segments for you.
Love a seg.
We like to do this almost every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Can I show you a haunted doll?
You can. You certainly can. I fucking hate this shit.
Oh, it's fun the way I do it. It's time for a segment I like to call The Dolls Are Living.
You're so dumb.
Thank you. So what I do is I go to ebay.com and I type in the words haunted doll. Surprisingly, actually not surprisingly, this was not going to be surprising to you, especially after that invoice you just told me about. But there are thousands of haunted dolls that people are selling for money online. And the great thing about them, they always have pictures and they have bios. And the bios, usually the belief is when you die, your choices are heaven, hell, haunted eBay doll.
Okay.
That's what I think. And so this is a person that was once living, now somehow is in this haunted doll.
Okay.
Do you like my Liberace doll, by the way? Not haunted.
I do. He has been giving me the vibe the whole time, but yeah.
Well, let's talk about, he's saying room for one more. Jiha, can you please show us Emma?
You got it, Roz.
Emma is currently going for $70.
Whoa.
That's Emma. She might not be what you were expecting, because usually...
No, I wasn't expecting it at all.
We are usually expecting lots of ruffles and lace, kind of medieval. This appears to be an older woman.
I saw her on the bus recently. She lives in LA.
She does look like, first of all, she's very liberal.
Oh, she is the head of the HOA.
She is, I think, paper mache, but she just appears to be
beautiful green eyes.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful green eyes.
I like this kind of woman, actually.
I do too. And she wears a mask outside too.
Yes.
She's still masking outside.
Absolutely.
She's clutching a ticket.
Oh my God, it is a ticket.
It is a ticket.
What is that?
Jimmy Buffett,
I bet. She's a parrot head.
Yeah.
This woman is a parrot head. I believe she has a Kamala sign in her front yard.
Yeah. Oh, deaf. Deaf.
Oh, she's got little feet.
She looks like she has compression socks on.
She definitely does.
She just got off a plane.
This is where I'm like, what is the story of this? Was this someone's art project? Like, I don't know what
I think this is based off of a person. I think this was a doll meant to look like a very specific person.
And they gifted it to her.
Yeah. And I think the ticket, and I think the hat, and I think all of the little details, the green eyes. Green is not an eye color that is often picked first
for a doll.
For a doll like this.
Yeah.
I think these are very specific details and they were meant for a specific person.
And she does have a big hat with flowers on it. I love this woman. I can't wait for the day that I am this woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so Emma has a pretty short bio. It just says, Emma is a very special haunted vessel. She comes from a friend of mine who claims she was evil.
Oh.
Since bringing her into the home, I do hear bangs every now and then, but I have mostly had good luck with her. Yes, you still hear weird stuff around her, but that's what haunted items usually come with. So be careful. And it says in all caps, I do not know if this is absolutely a positive spirit. Well, yeah, that's fair. I mean,
why would you
never
want
know.
to invite that into your home? I just don't understand.
Loneliness.
Like, it really does seem like someone who has so little going on in their life that they're like, let's light a match, baby. Let's light a match and see it burn and see what we can, nothing else going on. Might as well have a little adventure.
And they're taking a gamble. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. It really is so similar to online dating and all of that. Like, you just don't know if it's going to be a horrible, horrible experience or...
You're just going to hear a couple of bumps and noises and it'll be weird.
Yeah. Or are you going to get that intergalactic hole removed? So anyway, that's Emma, $70 for anyone in the market. Okay, let's do one more thing. Can I play you some ghost voices?
Please.
It's time for EVPs or EV Police. EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. It's when people believe they've captured a ghost speaking.
I'm familiar.
Okay.
I've gotten some on my Talk Boy.
On your what?
Do you know what Talk Boy is?
Talk Boy?
Yeah. How old are you?
According to Wikipedia, I'm a few years younger than you.
Yeah. So you might have just missed it. Do you know the movie Home Alone?
I think my parents watched it.
Oh, fuck you. Okay. Anyways,
Yes, Home Alone.
it's the thing that he uses to record the voices, and then you can distort the voices. Blah blah blah. We used to think that we could capture voices on that. Ghosts on that a lot.
Oh,
but
spooky.
yeah.
Maybe I should get one of those for when I go ghost hunting. I've got 2 of them for you. They were posted on YouTube. And it was sort of like a compilation video that was this group that has like just a bunch of different ghosts. Like, oh, here's some of our best ones. And the group is called Entity Encounters. And it's at various locations. What does this first one say? Joel Kim BoOooster. Okay,
Can I have
real
can
quick.
you hear it one time? One more time. I hear I honestly hear like a ghost that's singing along to Charlie XCX. Ride. You hear it?
Yeah, I do hear that.
He's having a brat summer.
That's very likely. That is not what Entity Encounters believed.
Okay, what did they think?
I'm going to give you A, B, C, D. Did they think it was A, raw, please?
No.
Maybe they were, what kind of sushi you want?
Mm.
I don't want that tempura. Did they think it was B, robbery?
Okay.
C, probably? Or D, Paula Dean?
I think robbery.
Okay, let me play it again.
Oh.
You are correct.
Okay.
That is what Entity Encounters heard. They heard robbery.
I feel very proud of myself.
That was very good. Well, you're experienced in this. Okay, what is this one saying? Same people posted it. I don't know where.
Okay, one more time.
Oops.
I hear, do you guys swear?
Do you guys swear?
Yeah.
But what do you think that means? Like, do you say naughty words, or do you swear that that's
no? Yeah, I think it's a person begging, like,
do you swear?
I think it's their last words. Like, this isn't gonna hurt. Do you guys swear?
And then that's how they died.
Uh-huh.
That's scary. Not what they thought.
Oh, fuck.
Do they think it was A, it's good to sweat? Do they think it was B, I gotta say? C, go this way? Or D, baby, you were born this way?
Can I hear it one more time?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
Go this way.
Joel Kim BoOooster, 2 for 2.
Yes!
Perfect record.
I've got a great ear for talent. I
really
discovered
do.
you after all in the lounge singing on top of that piano, and now look at you now.
I will say you are one of the few that has always been very kind and encouraging to me.
Thank you, Roz. Well, you make it easy because you're funny. So it's like, there are plenty of people who make it difficult to be supportive of.
Thank you.
There are many young queer comics that I would love to be more supportive of.
Just
But
can't do it.
you are so funny. It makes it very easy.
Thank you. Joel, tell us where people can find you and everything you got going on.
People can find me at I Hate Joel Kim on Instagram. I'm going on tour starting late October. It's a U.S. Canada tour that goes all the way through January, and you can find the dates at Linktree. /I Hate Joel Kim, or just go to my Instagram. And then also just announced I'm doing a European leg of the tour as well in December. Those dates were just announced as well. I'm doing Paris, London, Amsterdam, Berlin, and I think somewhere else. But yeah, I'm really excited. I have never done, other than London, I've never done Europe. So I'm a little nervous and I'm really excited. So
Oh my God.
please, if you're listening from any of those places, tell your
Yes.
friends, buy tickets, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that needs to be plugged, but I don't think so.
Well, this has been great, Joel.
This has been so lovely. I know that we've had to move this around a million times because of both of us, but I'm so glad that we got to be tactile.
I'm so glad that you had a ghost in your house
Me too.
because
I've never seen someone light up more than when I mentioned I had a ghost in my house.
oh my God,
to
you don't know the emails I've sent the past 6 years. The people, do you know someone that's had a ghost in their house? Anything. And to have somebody that I would want on regardless that moved into it was the perfect time.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you didn't come on back when I originally asked you.
Oh, same. I would have.
This
I don't know what
is
I would
it.
have fucking talked about.
This is the moment that we needed. And honestly, this story, because here's the other thing: beginning, middle, end.
Mm-hmm.
Dream for me.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning, middle, end. Ghost story, and I'm gonna put this in one of the top ghost story guest episodes that we have had this week.
You do me an honor. Roz.
What's that at the foot of my bed? It's spooky and kooky. I'm pretty sure it's dead. It's coming this